The pigeon and dove family of birds is large, a couple hundred species, and often flamboyant to the point of jaw-dropping. Alas, here in the States, the predominant example of them is the mourning dove, which could most tactfully be described as understated. In a way, all pigeons and doves look dorky with their rotund bodies and heads that shrank in the laundry. At least the mourning dove's long pointed tail, so obvious when he sits on branches and utility wires, balances his profile, not to mention helping us ID him. He has a couch potato lifestyle to go with his plump profile. The smaller birds on the ground at feeders, the sparrows, finches, and cardinals, will sometimes hightail it into cover several times a minute. Air raid drills in case there's a hawk around. When those birds book for the bushes, they often leave a mourning dove or two looking up like, where'd everybody go? But other times, the dove just ignores the departing maelstrom, because those nervous Nellies cry hawk so often that the dove is like a driver in New York City rush hour who has to figure out which of the blaring horns matter. Anyway, he's not about to skitter around just for practice, because it takes him some effort to boost that beefy booty aloft. You can tell that much by the way his back end wobbles on takeoff. Okay, that one's missing tail feathers, but his full-tailed brethren do the same thing. When the dove departs in a hurry, he gives us a whoosh of feathers and often emits a whistling bubble of notes that is actually made by his wings. All game birds do it. It may serve to startle predators and warn flockmates. As he feeds, he ambles around, bobbing his head with a chicken-like gait and showing us where the expression pigeon-toed comes from. He prefers to search for food in open areas because he's not going to dig in leaf litter the way sparrows will. Their little bodies can jump kick effortlessly. If a dove attempted that, he'd look like a Mini Cooper trying to tap dance. Now, the most he'll do is occasionally whisk some litter aside with his beak. So, he needs to look for food in the open, but since he's seldom the quickest one out of the gate in a general panic, he's in more danger there than the others are, especially since he's the favorite target of hawks. As a result, he doesn't actually eat when he's under your feeders. The other birds are eating, pulverizing each bite with sewing machine speed. But the dove just fills his crop. That's a sack next to his gullet, so that he can digest the food later in the safety of cover. The mourning dove, almost sluggish compared to the smaller birds, is so loath to hit the air that it will even walk to a new location 40 feet away. The smaller birds don't dawdle like that. They fly, or bounce on pogo stick legs. A white-throated sparrow can hop like a racehorse with a jackrabbit in its family tree. Ditto the blue jays, who are, keep in mind, just as tall as the mourning doves, only not as tall from side to side. Yeah, well, the dove is plump partly because of its lush, thick plumage. Its pastel colors may be muted, in fact, hidden under the wing for the most part, but you can't miss the cushiony coat that begs to be squeezed like a pillow. He is a very not picky grain eater, and because of that, sitting under all those plush feathers atop his pink legs and feet is the other reason he's chunky. Lots of tasty meat. Make no mistake, the dove has his admirers. Hunters take 20 million doves a year out of a population of 350 million. Now, I could be philosophical about it and point out that the dove's lifespan is only a year or two anyway. Even so, I'm guessing the dove would rather not be so popular with hunters and hawks. No danger, of course, that it might be shot in our yard. We're fans, but not the lethal kind. Still, he's not safe here. In fact, there's no place in the bird's range, which includes all of the lower 48 states, where he doesn't have to be on the lookout for his predatory winged fans, most common of which are the Cooper's hawks and sharp-shinned hawks. The hawks prefer to catch the larger birds, robins, starlings, jays, cardinals. But the dove's plump, juicy body grabs their attention the way gold bullion would pique a miser's interest. Oh yes, the hawks are fans. And the fact that the dove is sometimes a few milliseconds slower lifting off than the other birds makes it all the more appealing to them. But at the same time, the hawks don't kid themselves. When a mourning dove's life is in peril, it can hit the air like a panic-driven bullet. Yeah, it might not be the first one off the ground, but once it's up, it is fast, as the hawks well know. Did I really have the cheek to call mourning doves dorks? Because the muscle in those wings and pecks is not dorky. His strength turns him into an aerial poem, as majestic on the wing as Bach's toccata and fugue in D minor. A mourning dove can do about 55 miles per hour, which is also, as it happens, the top speed of those hawks. This shot shows you a hawk dropping down from a tree after a dove. Since the hawk didn't get it right away, that dove stood a chance of living to see another day. Now, I admire those daredevil hawks, and I know they have to eat, yet I find myself rooting for the mourning dove. Not that I can justify my prejudice. I can only note that nature is not so sentimental. Anyway, despite all the dangers this short-lived bird contends with, it has prospered and spread since the advent of Europeans, and is the 11th most populous bird in the nation.